Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Aquarius and the coronavirus, aka COVID-19. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, first off, I want to elaborate on what I'm actually talking about when I'm talking about Aquarius and the coronavirus. This is basically, I'm going to talk about areas in life that Aquarius may be affected and impacted strongly due to the coronavirus, and also ways they may be dealing with it if during this pandemic period. And so, anyway, first thing off is, well, Neptune is still in Pisces, of course, so the second house is what's emphasized and highlighted for Aquarius at this time. And Neptune can be connected with diseases. Pisces can be associated with ones that can't be eradicated or cured. At least in this one, not at the present time. It can't be cured. It can be eradicated, obviously, at the present time at least. I'm not saying it won't in the future, but anyway. Well, the fact that it's hitting Aquarius is the fact that the second house is what's emphasized and highlighted for Aquarius at this time is that this could really have some strong impact on their self-worth and their self-esteem. Now, granted, Aquarius could be very confident and have certain self-assuredness, but the thing about this is that when you're talking about the coronavirus and situations where people are isolating themselves or quarantine or what have you, this could impact Aquarius's connections big time. Their friendships. I mean, Aquarius, as I've talked about in previous videos, I see them as the universal friend. And the thing about this is, in this way, there might be some impact on their self-worth and self-esteem, because they might wind up being detached from their friends to some degree, and they might even think maybe it has in some instances they might think, well, maybe this has something to do with me or what have you. This could also be something which this could really impact the monetary situation for Aquarius more so than usual. They might be more self-sacrificing in terms of funds and altruistic as far as possessions and money goes at this time, because they may be helping those, giving things to those that are less fortunate than people that have been hit by this coronavirus. It could be where they're making some kind of donations to help these people that are in need due to the COVID-19 situation. And also too, this might also have some effect on their values, whether it's valuing life at this time, and really and also resources perhaps as well, because that could be associated with the second house. Could also be because Pisces is the sun that often falls on the second house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius, and you're talking about Neptune in Pisces. Now, this is a time where this situation may make Aquarius value spirituality more, and really and about hope at this time as well, and inspiration during this period. So anyway, well, the next thing up, Pluto will still be in Capricorn, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aquarius. So at this time, when you're talking about Pluto can be associated with viruses. Now, this might in some cases have an impact on Aquarius's mental health in some isolated cases, or it just might simply drive them figuratively crazy, because this is a situation where it might put Aquarius into more of an isolated or secluded situation. And Aquarius likes to meander and be able to have their freedom and independence and go around and be around their friends, their acquaintances, their groups, or different clubs or organizations. And also too, the 12th house can also be associated with an aunt or an uncle. So it's possible that Aquarius might be in a situation where an aunt or an uncle may contract this at this time. And if Aquarius does get this, the 12th house is also hospitalization, so there might be a greater propensity for being in a serious situation that might require hospitalization. And also the 12th house is over our hidden adversaries or hidden enemies. So it could be that a hidden enemy or hidden adversary may contract this at this time, And Aquarius may not know about it since it would be hidden, but it could be a friend that may be, it could be an enemy, a secret enemy that is actually posing as a friend. And this could really be tied in to the secret sorrows of Aquarius at this time in their life. It might be something that they might not necessarily talk openly about or blatantly or what have you, but if they experience any despondency from it, it might be done more in private at this time, in solitude and seclusion. And it could, and if Aquarius is involved in a clandestine affair, it could be that this person may wind up getting it at this time, or in some cases it could be Aquarius getting it as a result from that person in the that they're having the clandestine affair with in isolated cases. Now, given that we're talking about Aquarius, in terms of the symptoms that could be emphasized, well, body aches could occur due to somebody contracting the coronavirus COVID-19. So if Aquarius winds up getting this, they might feel some sensitivity, some body aches in the areas where the calves are, the calves, the shins, the ankles, and the lower legs. Now, also, Aquarius is known to have problems with the circulation. They often have sluggish circulation. Now, I don't know if the coronavirus can, in theory, impact that or affect it, but if it can, then that could be something that might be problematic at this time. But again, I don't know whether the coronavirus does affect that and can cause any issues with that or not. That's something you have to look up online and confirm through Google search or what have you. Now, for Aquarius, the zodiac sign Cancer often falls on the sixth house cusp in a solar or natal chart. So the fact that the zodiac sign Cancer falls on that house cusp, this could be a situation where Aquarius can be have some issues that are Cancerian related health-wise. Now, it could be some kind of unrelenting or constant pain in the chest or breast area. It could be some kind of aches where the stomach, as far as stomach goes, one's stomach goes at this time. Could also be what I want to talk about next is that now a situation in terms of dealing with this coronavirus. Now, Aquarius, the thing that's very beneficial to them is that they are the sign that's associated with social networking and social media. So if they do happen, Aquarius happens to get this, they might be more involved than usual. And they might be involved a lot in this anyway, but as far as social networking and social media, and still being able to make friends consistently through those outlets. Now, it could also be where you might find Aquarius being given they're so innovative and ingenious, they might attempt to innovate in terms of maybe try to create something that's something new that might do something to alleviate the symptoms of this, because Aquarius likely I don't know if there's going to be a vaccine for this anytime in the near future. But as far as the alleviation of the symptoms, like for example, I saw something online on Facebook one time where somebody was talking about creating something that I guess would help, like with the nasal passages, and if somebody gets a coronavirus and they have congestion or something as a result, or trouble with the breathing passages or what have you, something about creating an ultrasonic vaporizer and then putting some iodine in it and something else, and something like that where they're using their ingenuity. The thing about Aquarius too is this is something with them. Now, let's say if Aquarius is confined for any protracted or prolonged period, they might do something, of course, Aquarius related. It could be something with robotics and building something with robotics or electronics. It could be playing like science fiction games. I don't know if this was the name of the game, if it was actually called Asteroids, but like a video game that involves something like that, like a science fiction or some kind of space game. Something where, and also too, being on the internet more, because as I stated before, Aquarius is a sign that's synonymous with social networking and the social media. So the internet will actually would keep Aquarius very busy at this time, I believe. And also maybe something with astronomy. It could be stargazing or even being more involved in astrology if this person actually is an astrologer or a person that might be enamored with it, like a big astrology fan. It could be creating model rockets in some example. I mean, because Aquarius can be associated with rocket science. This person might be building model rockets as a hobby. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. I'm back. But anyway, now if some chance if this is if Aquarius contracts this, they'll often stay very positive. They could have nearly unbridled optimism. They are very futuristic and progressive, and they might try to, if they're involved in this in the, some medically or in terms of treating dealing with patients that have this, they may be trying to formulate a real ingenious way to treat COVID-19. And Aquarius is very selfless as well, and if they have friends or acquaintances that may contract this, they might give of themselves selflessly and try to help them, because they could be very, again, very altruistic and very selfless. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.